Josh Taylor is now the unified world champion and also the World Boxing Super Series champion. I think regardless of where you are with the fence on this was an excellent fight and nobody got robbed. I think that this was just a fantastic fight to watch. You know, quite often you get two elite guys coming together and it can be quite a non-event. Maybe Triple G and Canelo 1, maybe even Canelo 1 and 2. Like, they were good fights, they were catching each other, but it didn't really feel thrilling. This fight felt thrilling from start to finish. Two really easy to watch guys. Fantastic fight. I think that prior to the fight, I predicted Prograis to win. I think I made a reference to, I thought he looked the more kind of mentally complete boxer puncher. And I thought that Taylor would come with volume and try to kind of really force the issue. And I think I maybe even mentioned a point of, I wondered if Prograis could catch Taylor coming in with that kind of straight left that he throws. Beautiful shot. And I wasn't sure. Prograis was definitely my pick for before the fight. During the fight, I was overwhelmed by how enjoyable the fight was. I had Prograis winning by 1 round, but it was still much harder than I anticipated. I thought it would be a very close fight, but I thought Prograis would have been a clearer winner than I had him by the 1 round. And I can absolutely see somebody having Taylor by 2 rounds, Prograis by 2 rounds. I'm not entirely sure what the judge who saw 17-13 was doing. I don't know. I think either way that would have been an atrocious scorecard. I thought that I could even have Prograis by 2 rounds, but I am actually very happy as a guy who grew up and spent all my life in Scotland. I'm very happy that Taylor got the win selfishly. And boy, he has a chin and a work rate like nothing else. He would not be denied. He was indomitable and super impressive. Really just worked for it. Scorecards again are entirely they're entirely opinion based. People saw different things. From what I could gather, I was watching on the Sky Sports pay-per-view, and I think at the end of the 12th, I think the Sky guys went round the table, and I think maybe 6 of them had it Prograis, 2 of them had it Taylor, something like that. And I expected Prograis to get the nod, but was very happy when Taylor got it. I thought that Prograis, and the point I made about mental kind of composure, I thought Prograis looked very composed in the first 4 rounds, and that's how I anticipated. That was what I envisioned. Taylor to look a little bit messy, a little bit trying to kind of chase it, but Taylor's by far, his 2 standout rounds were 6 and 8. I haven't seen the punch stats yet, but Taylor threw so many punches, so many punches, and although Prograis' head movement, honestly, I encourage anyone to watch the fight back again and watch this dude's feet and watch his head movement. Incredible. But the punch that Taylor consistently landed was was it the left hook? Up close on the inside, it might have been the left hook. I'm trying to think which stance he was in. I think it was the right hook. I'm pretty sure it was the right hook actually. But he kept catching Prograis with this hook on the inside, usually towards the end of an exchange, and you could see it really bothered Prograis because he's obviously not used to being hit. And Taylor, again showing his elite level, was able to consistently land that punch. And I think it was, sorry, that's my Windows crying at me. I think Prograis really kind of struggled with that in the middle rounds. I think it kind of caught him unaware and tested his kind of mental fortitude. And like I said, I thought he was a very mentally tough guy. And I think round 7 and then round 9. And I don't think anyone could really argue with 11 and 12 going to Prograis. And you could argue that if this was in America or somewhere that wasn't the UK, I felt kind of harsh for Prograis, because usually when a fight is that close, you look to rounds 11 and 12. And 11, Prograis dominated. 12 was closer, but I thought Prograis won the... He was catching Taylor with some really huge, kind of completely unblocked straights. And I think Carl Froch made a point of saying that Taylor maybe made a bit of a mistake taking his foot off the gas in round 12. I don't know if he took his foot off the gas, but he definitely seemed more conservative. His punch volume dropped way off, and he tried to pick it up in the last kind of 30 seconds. But yeah, his best rounds were 6 and 8 by far. 6, he really turned the tables and really turned the heat up on Prograis. And Prograis had a mental collapse of his own. He looked very uncomfortable. I think the bleeding and the breathing from the nose really bothered him. It's obviously not something he has a whole lot of experience with. I was very, very impressed with Taylor. Taylor boxed is like I knew he could. Very fast, lots of pressure. I think a couple of people were commenting in the comment section about how Prograis would be the stalker and Taylor would be the boxer, but it went kind of back and forth. But Taylor won his most rounds when he was the aggressor, throwing volume. Especially round 6 was pure aggression. Round 8 was pure aggression. He did try to box from the back foot occasionally, but I think that Prograis straights were landing more. But those hooks from Taylor were fantastic. Again, only elite fighters could land on somebody with head movement like Prograis. Very, very, very interesting to watch. I thought Prograis' jab in the first 4 rounds, and he picked it up again in the kind of final, like third. That kind of really short range, almost like a 1-inch punch kind of jab. I remember the last time I saw a boxer do that. So they were too close together to be throwing out a jab, but he found a way, and it was like double, triple. Again, super impressive. I think it was round 7 where, maybe it was 9, maybe 7. Prograis landed a straight left that I think would have knocked anyone out in the whole weight division, with the exception of the Scottish Granite Chin. One of those kind of blind left hooks, blind straight lefts, where the kind of Josh Taylor had no idea, he didn't see it coming, and it kind of snapped his whole head back. He landed a similar punch, I think, in round 11, but not quite as devastating. Again, unless you have an elite level chin, that's going to knock anyone out. And but Taylor took it so well and carried on like it was nothing. But that's what closed his eye. That punch, I think it was in the 7th, maybe it was in the 9th. That straight left just completely closed his eye. His eye was damaged, but that just completely shut the eye. And yeah, it was very, very entertaining. I have no issue. Like I said, I'm happy with the result. I do think, if I'm being completely honest, and this maybe won't be very popular, especially for the Scottish guys, I think if it was a neutral territory, I think it would have probably been a draw or a Prograis win. Just because of what happened in the championship rounds. I think anyone would have scored 11 for, like I said, for sure for Prograis, 12 probably for Prograis, just because of the cleaner shots, really kind of damaging shots. But nobody could argue with somebody seeing Taylor winning 7 rounds in that fight. Nobody could argue with that, really. Again, I'm not sure what the judge was doing. Again, 17-13 either way is just stupid. Was it 17-12 or 17-13? I think it was 13, but kind of makes a mockery of it. And tell you what, Prograis was absolutely magnanimous and completely humble in defeat. He just said the best man won. You know, I don't know how much control it takes to be able to react like that. That kind of humility and kind of admission, as opposed to saying, oh, this is BS, whatever. But again, that kind of the point I was making about his mental fortitude, he just seems like a very determined and very kind of measured human being. And Taylor, for me, is more of a mental fighter, and that he's very up or very down. And I think that he was excellent tonight, though. Never ever gave up. Would have been very easy for him to kind of fall into Prograis' pattern of the first 4 rounds. He said, no, screw that, threw up the script and tore it up and kind of rewrote history from round 6 onwards. So very, very entertaining. I'd love to see these guys do it again, because I don't think they could ever be in a bad fight. But we'll see. Anyway, I need to get to bed. Hope you all enjoyed the fights as much as I did. And whoever you had win the fight, everyone won here, with the exception of Prograis. But even then, his profile would have been raised for sure, and nobody would not want to watch him again. So, yeah.